Good morning, boys and girls. Today we're going to be learning about the branches of government. Let's start by watching a video on this topic, and then be sure to put on your listening ears because there's going to be a quick trivia at the end of the video. So let's take a look at the video. Let me go through the ads real quick.
Welcome to Kids Academy.
And now I'm gonna do this.
Hi, boys and girls. Do you know how laws are made? There are 3 branches of government in the United States. Each branch has a special responsibility in the lawmaking process. The legislative branch makes the laws. The United States Congress runs the legislative branch. Congress members introduce bills, which are ideas for new laws. A bill cannot become a law until it is approved by the executive branch. The President of the United States is the leader of the executive branch. The President can approve or veto a bill. When a bill is vetoed, it is rejected. When the President signs a bill, it becomes a law. The executive branch also enforces laws to make sure that people follow them. The judicial branch is made up of courts and judges. The U.S. Supreme Court is the highest court in the judicial branch. Members of the judicial branch review laws to make sure they are fair. It's trivia time.
Okay, my friends, now that we've reached to the part of the trivia time, for this, there's going to be a question and it's going to have 3 answers to it. So if you think it's A, put your 1 finger up. If you think it's B, put 2 fingers up. And then if you think it's 3, put 3 fingers up. If you think it's C, put 3 fingers up. And then after each time, I would go over the answers. So let's take a look at the first one.
Let's see what you know about the 3 branches of government. Question 1. Which branch of the United States government is responsible for making laws? A, the judicial branch. B, the legislative branch. C, the executive branch. If you need to think about it, pause the video. Go back and peek.
Okay, we're gonna pause the video. I should see fingers up. Okay, I see a 2. I see a 1. Okay, I see more 2s. Okay, let's look at the answer.
Lesson again if you need more help. The answer is B. The legislative branch makes the laws. Great job. Question 2. Who is the leader of the executive branch? A, the President. B, the Supreme Court. C, Congress. Correct. The answer is A. The President of the United States is the leader of the executive branch.
Good job, everyone that had a 1.
The executive branch enforces laws to make sure that people follow them. Let's try one more. Question 3. Who reviews laws in the judicial branch? A, Congress members. B, American citizens. C, court judges.
Let's give a few minutes. Okay, I see 3s. I see 1s. Okay, let's take a look.
Yes. The answer is C. The judicial branch reviews laws to make sure they are fair. Great job.
Okay, good job, everyone. Those were only 3 quick questions to make sure that we were paying attention in our video. to our video. So now, it's okay if you didn't get them all right, because that is what our lesson is going to be about. So we're going to look into those questions more and in more detail with our reading. So before we begin our reading, I need to go over with you our vocabulary sheet for this lesson. So this just assures me that you're going to write down all the academic language vocabulary that we are going to learn in this lesson. And this can help you as a note-taking sheet, because if you forget a word or what something means, you can always look back to this and just to refresh your memory. So let's read over some of the words here. So I'm passing this out. First thing I want you to do is to write your name at the top and write the date like we always do. We have around 15 words. So for each section, we're gonna go over some words, and then you would write the definition. So right here, you just see the words, and then there should be a space in which you can write the definition. So let me model, for example, the first word or term that we have here is branches of government. So does anyone know what this means? How would we define it? Okay, Daniel, yeah. So there's 3 separate arms. So we can say the branches of government. So we're going to write refers to. So this is written right next to the word. Refers to the separate arms of the U.S. government, each of which having their own power. So each which have their own power, correct? And then we can say the branches that it includes. So does anyone know how many we have from the video that we just watched? Yes, Samantha, good job, 3. So we have the executive, right? The executive, legislative, and judicial branch. Good job, my friends. So we should have our definition in our worksheet, and then the word in our worksheet, and then the definition that follows along the word. So I'm going to leave this up in the whiteboard throughout our lesson so that you can copy them down. And if I erase and you don't have a certain word, then during our independent time, we can talk to a friend, and maybe they have the definition for us. So now that I modeled the first word, throughout the shared reading, I want you all to do the same for each word that we go through. So here I'm going to erase this for now. It's okay if you don't have it. You can look over with a friend during your independent time, but make sure to have all the words filled out by the end of the day, because you will be checking it, turning it in for completion. So that is part of your vocabulary completion for the day for this lesson. So now let's take a look. So yeah, these are going to help us throughout the lesson, and I should have a whole worksheet filled out by the end of the day. So let's take a look into our shared reading. We're going to participate in a shared reading, boys and girls. Does anyone remember how we participate in one? If not, it's okay. So a shared reading is remembered when we follow along silently while the teacher reads aloud. So we're proactively listening to the teacher and following along silently. And then at the end, for each reading, I'm going to stop at a certain page. We will review academic language So vocab for that page, in which we were gonna have to write in our worksheet. We're gonna go over comprehension questions to make sure that we understand the section that we just read, and then summarize a section so that we don't forget what we read, like I've mentioned. So let's take a look at part 1, page 176. Give me a few minutes. I am going to pull this out. So, page 176. Does everyone have it? Okay, so let's begin reading aloud. So, government for Illinois. The United States is made up of 50 states. Because they are in different places, they have different industries. They have different people with different ideas. Each state has different problems. Each state has its own state government. In the West, for example, Arizona and Utah make laws about how water can be used. Water is very important there because they are desert states. California's government inspects crops for insects that might have been brought in with loads of fruits or vegetables. Wisconsin makes laws about fishing in its many lakes and rivers and logging in its forests. Louisiana has laws about its docks, where ships load and unload their cargoes. West Virginia makes laws about safety in its coal mines. Illinois makes laws about its farms, so that would be our state. We have laws about our farms. All states decide how fast drivers can go on highways, so when we're driving, we have certain speed limits. It all differs on the state you're in. They all decide how they will run their schools, so everyone, like the Illinois schools, they may differ from California schools. It all is all based on your state and the laws. So what do you think? Representatives from Illinois and all of the 50 states go to Washington to make laws for the home country. What problems might there be with so many people from so many places trying to make laws for everyone? Let's keep that in our head. Just think about it. So let's look at the second paragraph. Our state constitution. Illinois has a constitution that tells how our state government works. Our first constitution was written in 1818, when Illinois became a state. Remember those dates, my friends. As Illinois grew and changed, new constitutions were written. Over the years, there has been 4 different constitutions for our state government. The last one was written and voted on by the people of Illinois in 1970. So let's take a look at this graph right here. General Assembly, legislature. So Illinois has 59 senators, which is right here. And then the House of Representatives, Illinois has 118 representatives. And then on the side, let's read over capital cities. Government representatives meet and make laws in the capital cities. The capital of the United States is Washington, D.C., so that's our capital. And then the capital of our state, Illinois, is Springfield. So people who live in Illinois have to follow the rules, so the laws, of both the United States and the Illinois government. Okay, my friends, so now we're going to stop. Since we read page 176, we're going to go over some academic language, some comprehension questions, and the summary of the section so that we don't get lost reading the whole thing. So let's see. Our first word is going to be, who can tell me what's next on our vocab worksheet? Good job, Danny. State. The definition of state. We can always look back at our text, correct? So state. So we're gonna write state. State, a territory right, with its own government, borders within a large country. So who knows how many states is in the country of the United States? Yes, Daniel? Good job. 50. So we have 50. I'm not gonna write that, but if you want to, you can write more, like facts about it. You can say, for example, Illinois is a state. That can help you. Just remember, this is just a definition, but you can always write notes about each word. So if I were you, I would maybe say an example of a state is Illinois. And if that helps you, remember. So now let's take a look at our second word. Yes, Samantha, is government. Government. Correct. So the government is the making of laws and important decisions that control or affect all the people living in a community, state, or country. So that would be our second word, correct? So now let's take a look at our third word. So we also crossed the word laws, like right here. So let's define laws for our third word. What's a law? Who can tell me what's a law? Eric? Yeah, it's like a rule that we have to obey. So let's write any rule, one rule that the government makes and that people in a society must obey. For example, everyone has rules, right? Like we've said, Illinois has laws about the farms and in our reading. So if we want to put an example, Illinois has laws about farms. And then later on, you can do your research on those laws if you want. So for our fourth word, representatives. So who are the representatives? Let's write representatives. Representatives. Right here. And a representative is a person who speaks or acts for a group or community. So they're like the leader, correct? Like they are the ones who, the spokesperson. And then for our last word for this section is, what's next on our word sheet, Samantha? Good job. So, Constitution. So we're gonna write Constitution. And then, what is a constitution, Danny? Yes, so it's the written record